Some towns vanish from maps, others are buried for a reason. This is the story of the day I found Hollow Glen and what waited for me in the attic. It started as nothing more than a side trip, an unplanned detour on the way back from a weekend hike. I was supposed to meet up with some friends, but a storm warning forced us to split up and head home early. My GPS, for whatever reason, rerouted me through a back road I didn't recognize, deep through a series of overgrown turns and cracked pavement. That's when I saw it, a crooked, rusted sign barely clinging to its frame, half swallowed by ivy. Hollow Glen, 2 miles. The name rang something faint in my memory, maybe a story I'd read, or a local legend I'd forgotten, but curiosity got the better of me. The road was narrow, almost as if nature itself had tried to erase it. Trees leaned in, like tall sentinels whispering to each other above my car. The fog thickened as I drove, the way it does in the movies, unnaturally sudden. By the time I reached the dead end, where the village supposedly lay, it felt like I'd entered a world untouched for decades. And maybe I had. The remnants of Hollow Glen were tucked away behind an old iron gate that had long since given up the fight against rust. A tilted church steeple rose in the distance, its cross dangling sideways. There were only 5 or 6 buildings, wooden husks of what looked like homes, all eaten away by rot and time. My instincts told me to leave, but nothing here wanted visitors, but something in me refused. I grabbed my camera and voice recorder, half thinking I'd document the place for fun, maybe post it online later. But the second I stepped beyond the threshold of the gate, the air changed. It wasn't just cold, it pressed in on me, as if passed through an unseen curtain into somewhere else entirely. The silence in Hollow Glen wasn't just the absence of sound, it was deliberate, as if something here chose silence. Not a bird chirped, not a breeze stirred, even my footsteps felt muffled. I walked past the first few homes, the doors hung off their hinges. Windows shattered, some still had children's toys on the floor inside, half buried in dust, untouched for decades. Then I found it, the house that changed everything. It looked like the others at first, but something about it, I don't know. It felt watched. There was no other way to describe it. Not haunted, not strange, just aware. The door was slightly ajar, groaning as I pushed it open. The boards beneath my feet creaked like they hadn't been touched in years. Inside, time had stopped. A rocking chair sat in the corner, still swaying slightly. A plate of porcelain had been smashed on the floor, but the pieces were arranged in a perfect circle, as if someone had set them there on purpose. And then I noticed the walls. They were covered in handprints, small handprints, dozens of them, all smeared in something that looked like ash or soot, trailing toward the ceiling and vanishing into darkness. I raised my camera. The battery died instantly. I tried the voice recorder. It flickered once, twice, then began playing something I hadn't recorded. Come find me. The attic. The voice was a whisper, but not from the device. It was inside the room, directly behind me. I turned. No one. I should have run. I knew I should have run. But I climbed the stairs. Each step moaned under my weight, as though protesting. When I reached the attic door, I noticed something odd. There was a padlock on the outside, but it had been snapped, twisted as if something inside had forced its way out. I opened it. Darkness complete. I raised my phone flashlight and took one cautious step in. The attic was empty, at least at first glance. Just a broken mirror leaned against the wall, and an old child's bed frame tucked in the corner, its sheets still messy like someone had left in a hurry. Then I saw it, in the mirror. Not my reflection, it was a child, standing behind me. A boy. Pale, eyes black, mouth open in a silent scream. When I spun around, he was gone. But the sound he couldn't make in the mirror, I now heard it behind me. A guttural wail, unnatural and choked. It filled the attic like a surge of thunder. I don't remember falling. I don't remember landing. I only remember waking up outside. The iron gate shut behind me. My camera was at my side. Memory card gone. My recorder smashed. And etched into the dirt beside me was the one word: stay. I drove home, barely speaking for days. When I told a friend what had happened, he looked at me with a pale face and asked, "Wait, Hollow Glen? That place burned down in the 60s. Church fire, everyone died. They say the fire started in the attic of a child's room. And that place, it doesn't exist anymore. The whole valley was buried under a landslide decades ago." I still don't know how to explain what I saw. Every attempt I've made to find Hollow Glen again has failed. GPS shows nothing, locals say it never existed. But I know what I saw. And every now and then I hear that whisper in my dreams, "Come find me." And I wake up with soot on my hands.